Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fluent English Stories. Have you ever opened your mouth to speak English and suddenly felt like your brain just stopped working? You know the words, you practice the sentences, but when the moment comes, nothing comes out. Today, I am going to show you why this happens, and more importantly, how to finally break free from it. My name is Sarah, and I have been teaching English for over 8 years. During this time, I have met hundreds of students who face the same problem. They study grammar, they learn new words, they watch videos, but when it is time to actually speak, they freeze. Their mouth stays closed while their mind is screaming with ideas. Does this sound familiar to you, my friend? Let me tell you something honest. The biggest enemy of your English speaking is not your grammar. It is not your vocabulary either. The real enemy is the fear that lives in your head. That little voice that says, wait, check your sentence one more time. What if people laugh at you? What if you sound stupid? That voice keeps you silent, and every time you listen to it, you lose a chance to practice. I remember a student named Maria. She could write beautiful emails in English. Her grammar was almost perfect on paper. But in meetings, she never spoke. One day I asked her why. She told me something that broke my heart. She said, "When I was a teenager, I answered a question in English class. I made one small pronunciation mistake. The whole class laughed. My teacher did not defend me. From that day, I decided it was safer to stay quiet." Can you imagine? One moment, one laugh, and it shaped her relationship with English for 15 years. And I know Maria is not alone. Maybe you have a similar story. Maybe someone corrected you in a harsh way. Maybe a friend made a joke about your accent. These moments stick with us. They become invisible chains that hold our voice back. But here is the truth. Those people who laughed or judged you, they are not in the room anymore. The only person stopping you now is you. Your past does not have to control your future. You can rewrite your story starting today. So why do we overthink before we speak? There are a few big reasons. First, we want to sound perfect. We imagine native speakers in our head, and we compare ourselves to them. We think, my sentence has to be exactly right. My accent has to be clear. My grammar cannot have even one mistake. So we polish our words again and again in our mind. We change the sentence 5 times, 10 times, and by the time we feel ready to speak, the conversation has already moved on. This is called perfectionism. Perfectionism tells you that good enough is not acceptable. It tells you that if your English is not flawless, then it is worthless. But my friend, let me ask you this. When you speak your native language, do you always use perfect grammar? Do you never pause, never search for a word, never make a small mistake? Of course not. Communication is not about perfection, it is about connection. The second reason we overthink is because we are afraid of judgment. We imagine people thinking, wow, this person's English is so bad. But you know what is interesting? Most people are not paying that much attention to your grammar. They are listening to your message. They want to understand you, not grade you like a teacher. I once did a little experiment with my students. I ask them to have simple conversations with native speakers and then tell me what they noticed. Almost every student said the same thing. The native speakers did not care about small mistakes. They smiled, they nodded, they asked questions. They were happy to communicate. The fear was much bigger in my students' heads than in reality. The third reason we freeze is because we do not have enough automatic language ready. What do I mean by automatic language? These are phrases and sentences that you have practiced so many times that they come out naturally without thinking. For example, if someone says good morning to you in your native language, you do not stop and think about grammar. You just respond automatically. But in English, we often try to build every sentence from zero. We think about word order, verb tense, article choice, everything. This takes time and energy. Meanwhile, the conversation keeps moving, and we feel left behind. So one of the most powerful tools you can develop is a collection of ready phrases, simple sentences that you practice until they feel easy and natural. Let me give you some examples. For daily situations, you can practice phrases like, "Excuse me, can I ask you something?" Or, "Sorry, I did not catch that. Could you say it again?" Or, "That sounds interesting. Tell me more." These are short, simple, and very useful. When you have these ready in your mouth, you do not have to build them from scratch every time. For work or study, you might practice, "I have a question about this part." Or, "Could you explain that one more time, please?" Or, "I am not sure I understand. Can you give me an example?" Notice how none of these sentences are complicated. They are not trying to impress anyone. They are just clear and honest. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. "Sarah, I understand all of this, but when the moment comes, I still panic. My heart beats fast, my hands get sweaty, and my mind goes blank. What do I do then?" Great question, my friend. Let me share with you some very practical steps. Step 1. Start small and safe. You do not have to jump into a big conversation with strangers right away. Begin in a low-pressure environment. Low pressure means no stress, no judgment, no serious consequences if you make a mistake. For example, you can practice by talking to yourself. I know it sounds a bit strange, but it really works. When you are cooking, try describing what you are doing in English. "I am cutting the vegetables now. I will add some salt. This smells good." When you are walking, narrate your thoughts. "I am going to the store. The weather is nice today. I feel a little tired but happy." This kind of self-talk helps your brain get used to forming English sentences without pressure. Another safe way to practice is through voice messages. Find a friend who is also learning English or someone who supports your journey. Tell them, "Hey, I want to practice my speaking. Can I send you short voice messages?" Most friends will be happy to help. They might even want to practice with you. When you send a voice message, you have time to think a little, but you also have to actually speak. It is perfect middle ground between writing and real-time conversation. And here is a little trick. Before you record, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this does not have to be perfect. I am just practicing. Step 2. Use reaction words to buy yourself time. Reaction words are those small sounds and phrases we use to show we are listening and thinking. Words like, "Oh, really? That is interesting. I see. No way. Let me think." These words do two important things. First, they show the other person that you are engaged in the conversation. Second, they give your brain a few extra seconds to prepare your next sentence. For example, imagine someone says to you, "I just started a new job and it is very challenging." Instead of panicking and trying to form a perfect response immediately, you can say, "Oh, really? That sounds tough." And then while you are saying that, your brain has time to think of a follow-up question like, "What kind of challenges are you facing?" Step 3. Embrace imperfect sentences. This is probably the hardest step, but also the most important. You have to give yourself permission to speak imperfectly. You have to accept that sometimes your grammar will be wrong. Sometimes you will use the wrong word. Sometimes your sentence will be a bit messy. And that is completely okay. Let me tell you about another student. His name was David. David was so afraid of making mistakes that he barely spoke for 6 months in his English course. Then one day, he had an emergency. He needed to call a doctor and explain his symptoms in English. There was no time to think, no time to polish his sentences. He just had to speak. After the call, he came to class and told me, "Sarah, I made so many mistakes on that phone call. I used wrong tenses. I forgot words. I probably sounded like a child. But you know what? The doctor understood me. He helped me. And I realized something. Communication happened, even though my English was not perfect." That was David's breakthrough moment. He realized that the goal is not perfection. The goal is connection. From that day, he started speaking more. He made mistakes. He laughed at himself. He learned and improved. Within 3 months, his confidence grew so much that he was leading presentations at work. So, my friend, I want you to try something this week. Find one small opportunity to speak English. Just one. Maybe you can order something in English if there is a cafe or shop where English is used. Maybe you can leave a voice comment under an English video. Maybe you can join an online language exchange for just 5 minutes. It does not matter how small the opportunity is. What matters is that you open your mouth and let the words come out. Even if your sentence is simple, even if you make mistakes, even if your voice shakes a little, you are doing it. You are breaking the silence. You are training your brain that speaking is safe. Now let me share one more powerful technique with you. It is called the 5-second rule. When you feel the urge to speak, count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then speak. Do not give your brain time to create excuses. Do not let the fear build up. Just count and go. Why does this work? Because overthinking needs time. When you count down quickly and then act, you interrupt the overthinking process. You do not give that inner critic a chance to say, "Wait, your grammar might be wrong. Wait, people might judge you." You just move forward. I have seen this technique change lives. Students who were silent for months started raising their hands in class. People who avoided English conversations started joining group discussions. The 5-second rule is simple but incredibly effective. Another thing I want you to remember is this. Every person who speaks English fluently today was once a beginner. Every single one. They made mistakes, they felt embarrassed, they struggled to find words. But they kept going. They did not let fear win. And that is exactly what you can do too. You are not behind. You are not too old. You are not bad at languages. You are just in the middle of your journey. Some people are a few steps ahead, some people are a few steps behind. But we are all walking the same path. The only way to move forward is to take the next step, even if it is a small one. Let me also talk about something important, your inner voice. The way you talk to yourself matters so much. If you constantly tell yourself, I am terrible at English, I will never improve, I sound so stupid, then your brain starts to believe it. These negative thoughts become barriers. But you can change your inner dialogue. Instead of saying, I am bad at speaking English, try saying, I am learning to speak English, and I am improving every day. Instead of, I always make mistakes, try, mistakes are part of learning and they help me grow. Instead of, people will judge me, try, most people appreciate my effort to communicate. These small shifts in your self-talk can make a huge difference. Your brain listens to what you tell it. So be kind to yourself. Be patient. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a good friend who is trying something new and difficult. I also want to mention something about accents. Many learners worry so much about their accent. They think, if I do not sound like a native speaker, people will not respect me. But my friend, let me tell you the truth. There are millions of people around the world speaking English with different accents. Indian accent, Chinese accent, French accent, Arabic accent, Russian accent, and so many more. All of these accents are valid. All of them are real English. What matters is clarity, not sounding like someone from London or New York. As long as people can understand you, your accent is perfectly fine. In fact, your accent is part of your identity. It shows where you come from, and there is beauty in that. So do not waste your energy trying to erase your accent. Instead, focus on clear pronunciation. Make sure your words are understandable. Practice the sounds that are difficult for you. But do not aim for a perfect native accent. Aim for clear, confident communication. Now let me give you a little challenge. After you finish listening to this, I want you to do one thing. Record yourself speaking in English for just 30 seconds. It can be about anything. You can talk about your day, your favorite food, a place you want to visit, anything at all. Do not write a script. Do not overthink it. Just press record and speak for 30 seconds. Then, listen to your recording. You might feel a bit uncomfortable hearing your own voice. That is normal. But I want you to notice something. You did it. You spoke English. Maybe it was not perfect, but it was real. You created sentences. You expressed ideas. You used your voice. That is progress, my friend. If you want to take it one step further, share your recording with someone. Maybe a friend, maybe in an online community, maybe in the comments of this video. When you share it, you are telling fear, I am not hiding anymore. I am practicing, and I am proud of my effort. Remember, the difference between people who improve their speaking and people who stay stuck is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is action. The people who improve are the ones who speak, even when they are scared, even when their grammar is not perfect, even when their voice shakes. They just keep going. You can be one of those people. You already are, because you are here, listening, learning, trying. You did not give up. You are looking for ways to improve. That shows courage and commitment. I am proud of you for that. Before I finish, I want to leave you with one final thought. Speaking English is not just about language. It is about confidence. It is about believing that your voice matters. It is about trusting that even if you make mistakes, you are still worthy of being heard. When you start to believe this, everything changes. Your English does not have to be perfect for you to deserve to speak. You deserve to participate in conversations. You deserve to share your ideas. You deserve to connect with people from around the world. Your voice has value, and the world needs to hear it. So, my friend, I encourage you to take that first step today. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until your English is flawless. Start now, with whatever you have. One sentence is enough. One conversation is enough. One voice message is enough. Just begin. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Thank you for trusting me with your learning journey. I believe in you, and I know you can do this. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. You are doing amazing, and I cannot wait to see how far you will go. This is Sarah from Fluent English Stories, reminding you that your voice matters. Now go out there and use it. See you in the next story, my friend. Take care.